Fallout 76 is the 9th installment within the Fallout series. What makes this installment so special is that it's the first multiplayer game within the series. Fallout 76 would see a release date of November 14th, 2018. Now, due to this being the first multiplayer installment within the series, there was a lot of anticipation and excitement behind its release. I vividly remember the day that this game actually got announced, and I remember how excited I was because I was on Twitter at the time and had saw that the trailer had came out. Me and my friends growing up actually really enjoyed playing these games within the series due to its single player experience of just being in an open world wasteland where you can pretty much do whatever you want. I vividly remember me and my friends having conversations during Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas talking about how we would love to see if Bethesda released a multiplayer title where you could link up with your friends and do the same thing you're doing in these games, but just on a grander level with friends. Me and my friends weren't the only ones that felt this way though. You see, Fallout offers a unique single-player experience, and if you've been playing these games over the years, you could only wish for a multiplayer title. And at this point in 2018, it actually seemed like Bethesda had actually heard our prayers. Despite Fallout and Bethesda just in general being known for all the bugs and glitches within their games, it was safe to say that we were still excited for a multiplayer title. I was actually at a friend's birthday dinner when the trailer had got released. I opened Twitter and I watched the trailer and I was actually blown away. Like, I was so excited for this game because it was finally time for a multiplayer Fallout title with new characters, new map, new locations, new weapons, new setting, new time frame, all that good stuff. Back in November of 2018, the anticipation was so high for Bethesda releasing Fallout 76. However though, instead of a smooth descent into the Appalachian wasteland, players were met with a barrage of bugs and glitches as usual. One of the main disastrous problems at launch for this game was the fact that it had no NPCs on the map. So you're playing an open world action RPG shooter and there's no NPCs, there's literally just robots patrolling the wasteland. Here's some gameplay of the game literally at launch.
What the fuck, Graham? Esta gra es zajebista.
Wait, take the clothes off. We gotta see how it deformed you.
Oh man, that hand though.
What the fuck?
Oh no, those guys are back. Run! Run! Woo! Flip that!
To replace your camp. However, hello?
Ahora no. No. Está nadando. Estoy bien.
We all know that games like have bugs and glitches here and there, and that's normal, but at this rate, it doesn't make any sense because not only was the game broken on launch with no NPCs, nothing to do, a dead wasteland, you also just had a barrage of glitches and just games crashing and people teleporting and quest progress being lost, and literally whole files just being deleted and forcing players to start from the absolute beginning of the game all over again. So combine all these issues of the game running on top of a disastrous world with nothing in it that feels like an actual wasteland and it's just completely empty, it doesn't make a good launch at all. But as the Fallout settled, the issues persisted. Many found the gameplay to be lacking with a narrative that failed to capture the depth of the previous Fallout titles like Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4. Fans were disappointed, I was disappointed, and the game faced harsh criticism from both players and critics. Now, this is where things sort of take a turn because Bethesda, to their credit, didn't actually abandon the game. They rolled up their sleeves, they sort of listened to the community, and began a series of updates and patches. Almost immediately, Bethesda began putting out patches for their game, fixing a ton of issues that were affecting the overall experience for the players playing the game. Some of these updates would include like simple things such as increasing the stash limit that players can hold, your icon displays, the way enemies behave, the way they attack you, their attacking patterns, power armor updates, server maintenance, camp crafting workshops, all these things that kind of should have been added in the game originally, that should have just been in the base game, but due to the game just having a horrible launch and them probably not working on what they should have been working on, they ended up putting these into the game after the community complained about how horrible the launch was. There's a ton of updates that were also included in the beginning, but I won't go over all those because there's just so many to go through, and they're pretty basic things that should have been in the game originally. But following up after those basic updates and small patches and things like that, Bethesda would gear up to start launching huge updates and DLC add-ons for their game. Now, these updates would offer a lot of content for the game to make up for the lack of content at launch. With these updates, they were also patching and fixing more things that should have been fixed at the beginning of the game, but the main focus of these updates were to bring new content, new characters, new stories, new factions, new story arcs, new places to explore, new weapons, new drops, new loot, new skins, and changes to the item shop. This is where things really started to take a turn for the game, and there were still a bunch of problems within the game, don't get me wrong, but this is where the community started to be like, okay, Bethesda's not giving up on the game, they're going to add more things to the game for us to do, and hopefully with these add-ons, it will improve the game for better and not for worse. I just want to take a quick second to look at every single add-on from the beginning of the game up until now, just so you guys can get a glimpse of how much content they added along in this game. So first up, we have the Wild Appalachia update. This is the first major update for Fallout 76, and it offered a new series of quests, features, events, and crafting systems. Then we have the Nuclear Winter update, June 10th, 2019. This update changes the rules of the Wasteland. April 14th, 2020, Wastelanders update. This update included a new main quest line, new factions, new events, and new features, and even more surprises and Easter eggs. June 30th, 2020, the Legendary Run update. This introduced a new way to progress through Fallout 76, introducing a Battle Pass-like feature for the game, atom bundles, perk card packs, and unique cosmetics to the item shop. September 15th, 2020, One Wasteland for All. This update actually rebalanced the combat system in the game and the reward scale to your level so that players at different levels can easily team up to experience the world together. November 21st, 2020, Still Dawn, 6th major update for Fallout. This introduced new NPCs, new quest lines, a whole entire new story arc with the Brotherhood of Steel returning to Appalachia, and introduced new companions. April 27th, 2021, Locked and Loaded, the 7th update for the game. This contained an all-new season, scoreboard rewards, special loadouts, camp slot features, and a major expansion for the daily ops in the game. Shortly after July 7th, 2021, we have Still Reign. This update actually picked up on the storyline of where Still Dawn left off. Actually, just want to add in real fast that I personally have played the Brotherhood of Steel quest lines in Fallout 76, and it's some of my favorite quests throughout the whole entire game. The voice acting in this game is actually really on par, and it made the world feel more alive when I was doing those quests. September 8th, 2021, 9th major update, introducing Fallout Worlds. This just added private worlds so players could link up with their friends and still do the same missions, share loot, things like that, and also added another expansion to the daily ops within the game. December 8th, 2021, 10th major update, introducing Night of the Moth. This introduced the Mothman Equinox seasonal event, color settings for the Pip-Boy, and quality of life changes to the looting and public events within the game. Next major update, March 1st, 2022, Invaders from Beyond, the 11th major update. This introduced a whole entire new seasonal event for the game called Invaders from Beyond, and this also added the option for backpacks to be hidden for players when you're in a custom or a public game. June 14th, 2022, Test Your Metal update, introducing several new public events to the game for players and upgrades to the Fallout First scoreboard if you are a member of Fallout First. September 13th, 2022, the Pit update. This was actually introduced in Fallout 3, but then they added it to Fallout 76, which is an overran city in Pennsylvania crawling with monsters, mutated monstrosities, and other threats like that. There was a ton of opportunities for players and dangers that awaited in this new area. December 6, 2022, Nuka World on Tour update. This update introduced new events for players in the game and new regional bosses offering more drops, more loot, and just basically more things to do for players. February 28th, 2023, Mutation Invasion. This is the 15th major update for the game. This introduced mutations to public events, and I want to say this also introduced the fact that your player could also get mutations in the game, offering you a extremely positive bonus, but also having a negative bonus to your character's traits, just to keep it balanced out. June 20th, 2023, Once in a Blue Moon update. This update offered new cryptids, new public events, side quests, rewards, and more daily ops mutations. December 5th, 2023, Expeditions Atlantic City update. This update is actually being introduced in 2 waves. So the first one, December 5th, 2023, and then the next one is going to be this year in March of 2024, called America's Playground. To be honest, I am not too sure what these updates are offering, but I will be looking further into them because I am debating on playing Fallout 76 again. So here we are, 17 major updates later, adding a ton of content to the game, finally adding things to do to a wasteland that was once empty with nothing to do within it. As the sun sets over the irradiated hills of the Appalachian Mountains, Fallout 76 has undergone a remarkable transformation. Bethesda, to their credit, has been hard at work over the past 6 years, rolling out not 1, not 2, but 17 updates, injecting new life into the once troubled wasteland. And with each update, we've witnessed the addition of new quests, new factions, and new features to the game. The game that stumbled out of the vault on launch day is almost unrecognizable today. Yet despite these strides, the wasteland still echoes with the discontent of its dwellers and players. The player base, while growing, isn't entirely unanimous in their joy. Some applaud Bethesda for their commitment to improvement, celebrating the wealth of new content and efforts to mend the initial wounds left before. But however, others still harbor reservations, pointing to persistent bugs, balancing issues, combat issues, and an insatiable hunger for more substantial in-game content. It seems that much like the rat roaches that scatter across the landscape, player sentiments are scattered as well. Some praise Bethesda for salvaging a ship once deemed unsinkable, but others believe that despite the updates, the ship core still needs to be corrected. Although one can't deny the strides that were made, the community events, the creative player-driven initiatives, the overall camaraderie that defines the wasteland today, yet in the shadows of the nuclear wasteland, there are still whisperers of unmet expectations and lingering concerns about the game's state. As the journey through the Appalachia continues, only time will tell how the story unfolds. Will Bethesda's commitment to improvement forge a path to unanimous praise, or will the wasteland still remain a landscape of varied opinions? For now, the dwellers, the adventures persist, and the fate of Fallout 76 hangs in the balance. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or a fresh-faced vault dweller, the wasteland beckons, and the story is still far from over. From my personal experience of playing Fallout 76, I can say that I really enjoyed the game. I don't think it's something that should be taken too serious as a Fallout title, because this is a multiplayer game and it's meant to be a live service, and over time they add content and they add all these quests and they add all these things for players to do to keep the game interesting and keep players coming back. I will say, from some of the quest lines that I've played and some of the stories within the game, they are pretty interesting and they do feel like they bring the world to life in a sense. I did a quest during the Brotherhood of Steel era from one of the DLC packs. I forgot what it was called, but I do recall doing a quest line where it really had me kind of sitting back and going, damn, they really put a lot of effort into this quest line and how the story unfolds. And that was just one of the story arcs within the game, and I really enjoyed it. I can't sit here and lie and say that I didn't enjoy playing the game. It's not something that I would just pick up and constantly be on all the time. Not something that I would really grind or anything like that, but whenever I feel like playing Fallout with friends, I'll re-download Fallout 76 and I'll jump back in. I will say this though, during my playthrough, I kept having this lingering thought of like, how would people still play this game? How are they still playing this game? Even though it had such a disastrous launch, there was nothing to do, the world felt empty. I mean, it was a complete disaster. There's so much that was wrong with the game in the beginning, and there was so much effort that went into the game for it to be even somewhat of an experience, a Fallout experience at that. But then I sat back, and during my playthrough, I noticed something about the community within the game. They're really strong. That community is very powerful. They care. There's no toxicity within the game. Every time I jumped in a server, every time I played with friends, there was always people coming by, dropping off powerful loot, dropping off rare guns, giving out stim packs, giving out Rad-X, taking you to their base, giving you caps, all kinds of things, even willing to just party up and take you and carry you through certain large world bosses and things like that. I mean, every single time I ran into a player in this game, I was always met with open arms. I was met with open arms right away. And it felt good because there's not a lot of multiplayer games out there where the community is that strong and they're willing to help you. Usually it's every man for himself, figure it out yourself, go look at a YouTube tutorial or whatever the case may be, but not with Fallout 76. I can honestly say this is probably one of the most coolest communities that I've ever encountered, playing a live service game. And for that reason, the game is still strong and alive today. Not to discontent or not to discredit Bethesda's work on the game, because they did put a lot of work into the game, and there's still a bunch of problems with the game, but the community is so strong and loving, and they love Bethesda so much that I find it really interesting that they still want to stick around for this game. It's pretty cool when you really think about it. I honestly wish that other live service games can have these kind of communities. And I could be wrong. I haven't played every live service game out there or every other big multiplayer open world game. But playing Fallout 76 made me realize what an actual nice, caring community is for the players, new and veteran. And with that being said, thanks for watching my video. I appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed the content, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if there's anything wrong with the video or anything that I may have missed, please leave it in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.